Greetings from Electrically. In this video, we are going to start our discussion on transformer subject. Okay, transformer is considered as one of the most important subject in electrical engineering as far as exam is concerned. Exams like assistant engineer, post of the assistant engineer, then junior engineer, then any PSU exam, be it your GATE examination or IES prelims or mains examination. Transformer is considered as one of the most important subject. Okay, but before starting the transformer subject, let me tell you one thing, that transformer or any electrical machine or any electrical engineering subject is concept oriented subject. Now what do I mean by concept oriented subject? First of all, we need to understand the working principle. Okay, the working principle of all the machine is nothing but what? Electromagnetic induction principle. Okay, it works, all the machines works on the basis of electromagnetic induction. Okay, now electromagnetic induction comes under electromagnetic field theory. That's why the electromagnetic field theory, the backbone of all the electrical machine or electrical engineering, is nothing but electromagnetic field theory, EMF concepts. Okay, now the concept such as what is Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, what is first law, what is second law, Faraday laws of electromagnetic induction, right? Then what is a Lorentz force principle, then what are the types of induced EMF, right? What is mutual induced EMF, what is self-induced EMF, what is statical induced EMF, what is rotational induced EMF, what is Lenz's law, what is right hand rule, Fleming's right hand rule, right? Then Fleming's left hand rule in order to determine the polarity of induced EMF, and the force, right? Cross polarity, dot polarity, all these concepts are related with EMF. That's why in order to understand the electrical machine or transformer, first we need to have proper grip on electromagnetic field concept. Okay, so first we are going to discuss basics of electromagnetism, whichever the concepts are required, for our electrical machines, those concepts we are going to study first, then we will start our actual discussion on transformer. Okay, so with this note, let me start the transformer subject. Okay, so let me list out some of the features of the transformer. What are the features of the transformer? Transformer is considered as what? Constant frequency device, right? Constant frequency device, constant power device, constant flux device. It is a negative feedback device, right? There is a 180-degree phase displacement between input and output. Okay, all these are nothing but what? Features of the transformer. Okay, let me write the first feature. First feature is constant frequency device. Transformer is considered as constant frequency device. Okay, now why transformer is called as constant frequency device? We know that according to definition of transformer, what is transformer? It is a static electrical device. It is not a machine. Transformer is not a machine. Okay, transformer is an electrical device because there are no rotating parts in the transformer, right? So transformer comes under category of devices. Okay, so what is the definition of the transformer? Definition: it is a static electric device. It is a static electric device which transfers electrical power from one circuit to other circuit or from primary side to secondary side. There is no conversion of any energy inside the transformer like we have in generator and motor. In generator we give mechanical input, we get electrical output. Okay, in case of motor we give electrical input and we get mechanical output. But in case of transformer, if we are giving electrical input, we will get electrical output. So there is no conversion of energy, only transfer of energy is taking place inside the transformer. Okay, it's a static electric device which transfers electrical power from one side to other side according to which phenomena? According to mutual induction phenomena. Transformer works on the principle of mutual induction. Okay, it transfers electrical power from one side to other side according to mutual induction phenomena. Okay, but without change in frequency of the system. Without change in frequency of the system and magnitude of power. Okay, so what I said, according to definition, it is a static electric device. It is a static electric device which transfers electrical power from one side to other side, that is nothing but from primary side to secondary side, without change in frequency of the system. Okay, this is the feature of the transformer, without change in frequency of the system. For example, if this is my transformer, I'm drawing a rough diagram. Okay, if it is my transformer, this is my transformer, and I'm giving input in terms of voltage and frequency, right? And I'm taking output at the secondary side. Okay, at primary side as an input, I give frequency is equal to, let's say, 50 hertz. I give 50 hertz supply. Then at output also we will get what? 50 hertz supply. Okay, we will at output also we will get 50 hertz. This is input and this is what? Output. If we give 40 hertz as an input, then at the output we will get how much? 40 hertz at output. So is there any change in frequency? No, there is no change of frequency of the system because of transformer. That's why transformer is considered as constant frequency device. But there is one device, or there is one machine which is also called as rotating transformer. What is that machine? It is an induction machine. Induction machine is nothing but what? It is an extension of transformer. Okay, it is an extension. Induction machine is nothing but extension of transformer. That induction machine is also known as rotating transformer. This rotating transformer name was given by Nikola Tesla. Okay, so the induction machine can be used for frequency changer purpose. If we are giving 50 hertz input, then at output we can achieve 40 hertz. If we are giving 50 hertz input, then at output we can achieve 30 hertz or 60 hertz. Okay, so the frequency is changing because of induction machines. So induction machines can also be used for variable frequency changer application. Okay, variable frequency drives. Okay, this is the main difference between induction machine and transformer. Okay, so is there any change in frequency in case of transformer from input to output? No, there is no change in frequency. But in case of induction machine, in case of rotating transformer, yes, there is a change in frequency from input to output. That's why induction machine can be used as frequency changer application. Okay, fine. This is the first feature of transformer, that is, it is a constant frequency device. Now I have written here one more term. It transfers electrical power from one side to other side without changing frequency of the system and magnitude of power. And magnitude of power is also remains constant. Magnitude of power also remains constant whenever there is a transfer of energy or whenever there is a transfer of electrical power from primary side to secondary side. Okay, so the second feature is what? Second feature is constant power device. Transformer is also considered as constant power device. Okay, transformer transfers almost same amount of power. Okay, while transferring the power from primary side to secondary side, it transfers almost same amount of power. Okay, what is the main purpose of transformer? The main purpose of transformer is to step up or step down the voltage and current level. Okay, and we consider transformer in the category of constant power application device. Now what do I mean by constant power application device? Constant power application device means what? We know that power is equal to voltage into current. Okay, using transformer, what we are doing? We are stepping up the voltage by X amount. Let's say we have stepped up the voltage by X amount. Okay, now as soon as we increase the voltage or we steps up the voltage by X amount, at the same time current will be decreased by X amount. Current will be decreased by X amount. Then only this product will remain constant. Okay, and the product of voltage and current is nothing but what? Power. Product of voltage and current is nothing but what? Power. That is how the power is maintained constant while transferring the electrical power from primary to secondary side. This is the main concept behind constant power device. Now what is the another beautiful application of constant power application? It is our transmission line. In transmission line, what happens? We are stepping up the voltage with the help of what? With the help of transformer. As soon as we steps up the voltage, the current requirement or current flowing through the line decreases, right? So the losses are getting decreased. Why we are using the transformer in the power system or in the transmission system? In order to decrease the losses and to transmit the power with higher efficiency, with less voltage regulation, with less voltage drop, with less losses. That's why we are using transformer in the system in order to step up the voltage from several kV to several kVs. Okay, from 11 kV to 132 kV, from 33 kV to let's say 400 kV. Okay, this is how we transmit the power at higher voltage levels in order to decrease the losses. Okay, this is how we can understand transformer as a constant power device. Okay, and we cannot imagine our power system without the transformer. That's why transformer is considered as heart of the power system. It is a heart of the power system. Same in case of at signal level, at electronics, transistor are nothing but considered as heart of the electronics. Transistor, right? So at the power level, transformer is considered as heart of our power system. Okay, this is the second feature of the transformer, that it is a constant power device. While transferring the power from primary side to secondary side, the product of voltage and current remains constant. If we are increasing the voltage by X amount, then current will decrease by X amount. If we are decreasing the voltage by X amount, then current will increase by X amount, and that their product remains constant. And we know that the product of voltage and current is nothing but power. That is how power remains constant while transferring from primary side to secondary side. This is the second feature of the transformer. Okay, now let's come at we know that in transformer, power is transferred from one circuit to other circuit with the help of some core material, right? There is a presence of core material, right? For example, this is my transformer. This is my input. This is my input to the transformer, and this is my output of the transformer. At input, we will apply what? Source, and at output, we will take load. Okay, at output, we will take load. This is my transformer. This is my input, and this is my output as a load. Okay, now power, what I said, power is transferred from primary side to secondary side. Okay, so definitely there must be something is there which is transferring that power from primary side to secondary side. What is that thing? It is a magnetic core material. Okay, it is a magnetic core material. This is nothing but what? Magnetic core material, and on this winding is wound. On this winding is wound. This is primary winding. This is my primary winding. This is my secondary winding. Why I am saying this is my primary winding and this is secondary winding? For example, if I remove this source from here and load from here, now can you tell me which is primary winding and which is secondary winding? So many people will say this is primary winding and this is secondary winding, but this is wrong. But did I located the position of source and load? No, I have not located here source and here load. So then how you can say that this is primary winding, this is my secondary winding? without locating the position of source and load, we cannot say this is my primary winding or this is my secondary winding. That's why primary winding and secondary winding are not the exact names of the transformer winding. Okay, they just describe the role of the winding. They just describes the role of a winding, whether my winding is acting as a source, at whether my winding is connected to the source or my winding is connected to the load. Okay, role of the winding changes if I interchange the position of the source and load. Now what will happen if I connect the source here and I will connect the load here? This is my load. Then this winding will become what? Primary winding, and this winding will become my what? Secondary winding. Okay, this winding will become my secondary winding. That's why primary winding and secondary winding are not the exact names of transformer winding. Then what are the exact names of the transformer winding? It is high voltage winding and low voltage winding, right? It is high voltage winding and low voltage winding. Now how to represent high voltage winding and low voltage winding? Based on the number of turns, we can identify which winding is high voltage winding and low voltage winding. Okay, more the number of turns, okay, that winding will be high voltage winding. Lesser the number of turns, that winding will be low voltage winding. So in this case, this is high voltage winding because there are more number of turns. Okay, and this winding is what? This is low voltage winding because there are less number of turns. Okay, so the exact names of the transformer winding is high voltage winding and low voltage winding. Okay, fine. Now what happens if I excite this winding with the help of some voltage and frequency? What happens? Current will flow, right? Current will flow, and because of this current, we know that according to electromagnetic field theory, whenever current is flowing through the conductor, it will establish a magnetic field around it. Okay, and that magnetic field will take the path from this core material through this core material. So magnetic flux will be established inside this core material. Okay, so we have given electrical as input. This is my what? Electrical input, and we got what? Magnetic energy. Magnetic energy is nothing but what? Flux. Okay, so we gave electrical and we got, and that electrical is converted into what? Magnetic form, in the form of flux, in the form of magnetizing flux inside the core material. So when we see the internal process of the transformer, what we can say? Electrical energy, electrical input is converting into magnetic system. Okay, so we can consider transformer as energy conversion device. Okay, we can consider the transformer as energy conversion device because we are giving electrical input and we are getting magnetic system. We are getting magnetic flux by exciting the winding. Okay, when we are considering internal process of the transformer. Okay, now this magnetic flux will link to the secondary winding, this winding. Okay, this winding, and as soon as it links with this winding, EMF will be induced across that winding and current will start to flow, and the current will start to flow which will go into the load. Okay, this is how load will get operated. Okay, then again this magnetic energy is converted into what? Electrical output. Okay, this is electrical output. So if we see the internal process of the transformer, can we consider the transformer as energy conversion device? Yes, we can consider the transformer as energy conversion device. Okay, but if we see with respect to only input and output, only, then we cannot say transformer is an energy conversion device, because at input what we gave? Electrical input, and at output what we are getting? Electrical output. Okay, the same. Is there any energy conversion? No, there is no energy conversion from input to output. So universally transformer is not considered as energy conversion device. Okay, but if somebody asks you any interviewer or any electrical engineer asks you, can we consider the transformer as a energy conversion device or not, you should say it depends. It depends. Like if we consider the internal process of the transformer, we can say the electrical input is converted into magnetic form. Okay, electrical is converted into magnetic, then magnetic is converting into electrical. So at the core material, we can say energy is getting convert, okay, from electrical to magnetic. That's why if we consider the internal process of the transformer, then we can consider transformer as energy conversion device. But if we see transformer as a whole with respect to input and output only, then there is no conversion of energy. We are giving input as electrical, then we are getting output as electrical only. Okay, so transformer is not considered as energy conversion device. Universally, transformer is not considered as energy conversion device. Okay, so this is my third feature of the transformer. This is my third feature, that is not an energy conversion device. It just transfers electrical power from one circuit to other circuit without converting any electrical energy. Okay, fine. Then the fourth feature of the transformer is considered as a coupled circuit. Okay, coupled circuit. Now what do I mean by coupled circuit? Transformer is electrically isolated but magnetically coupled. Why I am saying it? See, this is my transformer core material. This is my transformer core material, and on this side I will wound some winding. Let's say this is my high voltage winding, this is my low voltage winding. Okay, this is my low voltage winding. Okay, as soon as I excite this high voltage winding with the help of some voltage and frequency, then current will flow through this, then through this winding. And we know that according to electromagnetic field theory, whenever there is a current flowing through any conductor, it will establish a magnetic field around it. It will establish what? Magnetic field around it. So this is how the flux, time varying flux, will be time variable flux. Time variable flux will be established inside the core material. Okay, and now this winding will experience what? Changes in flux linkages. Okay, and as soon as it experiences changes in flux linkages, an EMF will be induced across this winding. So when we connect a load here, current will flow. There is nothing but the load current. Okay, so is there any physical connection between this winding and this winding? There is no physical connection between, or electrical connection between, primary winding and secondary winding. That's why I'm saying transformer is a coupled circuit which is electrically isolated, but with the help of some magnetizing flux, with the help of some common flux, it is connected with each other. Okay, it is electrically isolated but magnetically coupled circuit. Okay, coupled circuit. So what is the third feature? Transformer is considered as coupled circuit. Okay, fine. Then the next feature of the transformer is considered as phase shifting device. Okay, transformer is considered as, fifth feature is what? Phase shifting device. Okay, at this beginning stage, might be it might be possible that you won't understand this what is phase shifting. Okay, what is phase shifting? Whenever we come across working principle of transformer, there you will understand in detail what do I mean by transformer is considered as phase shifting device, because there is a definite displacement of 180 degree from input side to output side, between input voltage and output voltage. Okay, there is a definite displacement of 180 degree. Okay, that's why transformer is considered as phase shifting device, because there is a displacement of what? 180 degree. Displacement of 180 degrees between input voltage and output voltage. Okay, between input voltage and output voltage there is a phase displacement of 180 degree. That's why transformer is considered as phase shifting device. Okay, this is the fifth feature. Now what is another best example of phase shifting device? In electronics, BJT is considered as best example of phase shifting device. Because of BJT there is a phase displacement. Okay, in electronics. Okay, so BJT is a phase shifting device. BJT can be considered as phase shifting device at signal level, but at power level transformer is considered as phase shifting device because there is a definite displacement of 180 degree between input voltage and output voltage. Okay, so this is the first feature, fifth feature. Okay, then what is the sixth feature? Now the sixth feature of the transformer is considered as singly excited device. Okay, why I'm saying it? Because for example, this is my transformer core. This is my transformer core. I'm just drawing some rough diagram. Okay, this is my primary winding, or this is my high voltage winding, and this is my low voltage winding. Right, this is my high voltage winding and low voltage winding. Now you can say this winding as primary winding, this winding as secondary winding. Okay, so we will give supply in terms of voltage and frequency to the primary winding. So as soon as we give the supply, current will flow through this winding and flux will be established inside this transformer core. Okay, this is nothing but magnetizing flux, phi m, magnetizing flux, or we can say working flux. Okay, as I told you, transformer is a coupled circuit which is electrically isolated but magnetically coupled with the help of some common flux. Okay, so by exciting the primary winding only, my secondary winding is getting excited with the help of what? Some common flux. Okay, so how many sources we require? How many sources we require in order to excite both primary and secondary winding? Here we require only one source. In order to excite primary winding and secondary winding, in order to induce an EMF in primary winding and induce an EMF into secondary winding, we require just one source. That's why transformer is considered as singly excited device. Okay, what is another example of singly excited device? Induction machines. Induction machine is also singly excited device. Okay, and what is the example of doubly excited machine? Synchronous machine. For example, synchronous motor. At the stator part we give three-phase electrical supply, and on the rotor there is a DC excitation. Okay, there is a DC excitation. So there are two sources. Okay, there are two sources which are useful in case of synchronous machine. Okay, that's why synchronous machine are nothing but doubly excited machine or doubly faded machine. Okay, because there we require input supply and DC excitation. Is there any requirement of any DC excitation in case of induction machine and transformer? No, only one source is required in order to excite primary winding and secondary winding. Okay, that is nothing but the singly excited device. Okay, transformer is considered as singly excited device. Okay, this is the sixth feature of transformer. Okay, then the next feature is seventh feature is transformer is a constant flux device. Okay, constant flux device. Why it is called as constant flux device? Because irrespective of loading, the magnitude of main field flux, this is nothing but what? This is my main field flux. Okay, this is my working flux or main field flux. So irrespective of loading, whether my load is no load, half loaded or fully loaded, the magnitude of this main field flux is always maintained constant irrespective of any loading. Okay, that's why transformer is considered as constant flux device, right? For example, if I take here at no load, my phi m value is, let's say, 10 milliweber. For example, it is 10 milliweber, my main field flux at no load condition. Now at half load condition, what will be my value of main field flux? It will remain at 10 milliweber only. And at fully loaded condition, at full load, my phi m value is equal to 10 milliweber. So irrespective of loading, be any loading, okay, irrespective of loading, the magnitude of main field flux inside the transformer core is maintained constant. Okay, that's why transformer is considered as constant flux device. This is the 7th feature of the transformer. Okay, now the next feature is transformer is also called as negative feedback device. Okay, transformer is also considered as negative feedback device. Negative feedback device. Why transformer is considered as negative feedback device? Always remember, in every electrical machine, Lenz's law has to satisfy. Okay, Lenz's law has to satisfy in any electrical machine. Okay, without Lenz's law, there won't be any existence of any electrical machine. Okay, so in order to satisfy the Lenz's law in every electrical machine or in our transformer possesses negative feedback action. And what is that negative feedback action? In further lectures, we are going to come across Lenz's law. We are going to understand what is Lenz's law. There is a particular sequence of the Lenz's law. Okay, that it opposes the changes in the cause. Okay, it opposes the changes in the cause. Okay, that we are going to understand in further lectures. There the concept of negative feedback action will get clear. Okay, but for time being, just remember, in order to satisfy the Lenz's law in transformer, the transformer possesses what action? Negative feedback action. Okay, in order to satisfy Lenz's law in every electrical machine. Okay, so transformer is considered as negative feedback device or negative feedback circuit. Okay, fine. This is my 8th feature, right? Then my ninth feature is what? Transformer is a two-port network. Transformer is considered as two-port network. Two-port network. For example, this is my transformer. This is my transformer. This is my input port and this is my output port. This is my input port and this is my output port, right? Input port in terms of voltage and current. At output also voltage and in terms of voltage and current. Okay, so how many ports are there? This is first port, this is second port. So it is considered as two-port network. This is first port, this is my second port, input port and output port. And in order to relate the input port and output port, we take the help of some parameters. And those parameters are nothing but ABCD parameters. Okay, ABCD parameters. Okay, so transformer is considered as two-port, 4-terminal network. Okay, how many terminals are there? This is first, this is second, this is third, and this is fourth. There are 4 terminals and 2 ports. Okay, so transformer is considered as 2 ports, 4-terminal network or device. Okay, so these are the features of the transformer which makes the transformer a unique device. Okay, now what are those features? It is a constant frequency device. If you give input as 50 Hz, then at output you will get 50 Hz. It is a constant power device. While transferring the power from inputs from primary side to secondary side, the product of voltage and current is maintained constant. So the power is maintained constant because product of voltage and current is nothing but what? Power. Okay. Then the third feature is what? Transformer is considered as what? Coupled circuit, which is electrically isolated but magnetically coupled. Okay. Then transformer is a phase shifting device because there is a definite displacement of 180 degree from input side to output side. From input side to output side, 180 degree displacement is there. That's why transformer is considered as phase shifting device. And in case of electronics, BJT is the beautiful example of phase shifting device. Okay. Then transformer is a singly excited device. Only one source is required in order to excite primary winding and secondary winding. Okay. That's why transformer is considered as singly excited machine, whereas induction machine is also singly excited machine, and synchronous machine are doubly excited machine, doubly faded machine, because there will require input supply as well as DC excitation is also there. Okay. Then transformer is considered as constant flux device. Okay. Irrespective of loading, the magnitude of main field flux inside the transformer core is maintained constant irrespective of loading. Okay. That's why transformer is considered as constant flux device. Okay. Then it is also considered as negative feedback device. Okay, because there is a negative feedback action in order to satisfy the Lenz law. In order to satisfy the presence of Lenz law in any electrical machine or in a transformer possesses negative feedback action or negative feedback sequence. Okay. Then transformer is nothing but a two-port network having 4 parameters. Okay. Those 4 parameters are nothing but giving what? Relation between input port and output port. There is ABCD parameters. Okay. So all these features which are listed makes the transformer a unique device. Okay. That is nothing but the heart of our power system. Okay. The device is a heart of our power system. Okay. And all this feature makes this device beautiful device. Okay. A unique device. Okay. So from the exam perspective, if we see this feature, these features are very important. Okay. Straightforward questions can be asked, like transformer is considered as positive feedback device or negative feedback device or both. So transformer is considered as negative feedback device. Okay, at JEE level and A level exam, in any PSU level exam. Okay, from the features itself, at least 1 to 2 question can be asked. Okay, there is a more probability. Okay, asking the questions from these features of transformer. Okay, so with this note, I will conclude the lecture here, and in the next lecture, we will discuss the working principle of transformer. In working principle of transformer, we will mainly come across what are the types of induced EMF, what are the necessary conditions in order to induce an EMF across the winding of the transformer. Okay, what is statical induced EMF, what is dynamical induced EMF. Okay, how to find the magnitude of statical induced EMF and dynamical induced EMF. Okay, then what is right hand rule, what is left hand rule. Okay, these are nothing but the basics of electromagnetism which are required to understand any electrical machine. Without understanding these EMF concepts, we can't understand any electrical machine or electrical engineering in an efficient way or in an effective way. Okay, so first we need to build a foundation of this EMF concept. It will take around 2 to 3 lectures. Okay, there we will discuss Faraday law of electromagnetic induction, Lenz law, Lorentz force, Fleming's left hand rule, right hand rule, all these concepts. Okay, so with this note, I will conclude the lecture here. Thank you.